Hi, everybody. Welcome back to What's Up Humanities Alum. This time we have Ethan Sorenson with us, and we're really excited to talk to him today. So, welcome, Ethan. Can you tell us when you graduated and what your major was?
Yeah, I graduated in 2019, or sorry, 2022, not 2009, 2022. And then I had a secondary English education major.
Awesome. And so, what are you up to today? Where are you working? What are your job responsibilities?
Yeah, so right after college, I started working at North High, but I started as like it was like a co-teaching job because I didn't
Hmm.
have anything else open. So yeah, I went on there as like a with a conditional, like I was just gonna long-term sub, because it was a special ed job, but I decided that I actually kind of liked it. So I graduated midterm at Morningside, so it was like
Oh, okay.
December 22.
Hmm.
And then by January, I started my master's in sped because I figured I need to get it anyways. Master's in something, and I figured it was gonna be maybe be something with like education. I didn't really plan on doing it in English. Like I was more interested in education. So I started at Morningside. I just so yeah, graduated in December. I started in January at Morningside. And I ended up really liking that. I worked with the guy, Mr. Ammon, that we got along great and we had an awesome vibe. And we kind of clicked together and we could, switch off lessons and teach lessons and kind of just nerd about English. So I was really comfortable in that job. So I ended up getting my master's last year in special ed. But then just this past year, I decided to go back into the gen ed classroom. So now I teach freshman English at North High.
Awesome. Freshman English. So, what are you guys reading right now?
Well, we're doing a research essay right now. So
Oh, okay.
that's something.
Awesome.
But we're gonna get into Romeo and Juliet here pretty soon.
Okay, Romeo and
Yeah.
Juliet, good times. Oh, the stories I could tell about Romeo and Juliet in my ninth grade classroom, but we don't have
Right,
time for that today.
right, right.
So, what was it about studying humanities, studying English in college that has helped you with your position now?
It's just like I know that my position directly teaches English, but I talk to all my students about this too, and I think it's every English teacher. They always say English is so important, right? They all say that. Every teacher says that all about their subjects, but
That's because
I'm,
it's true, Ethan.
and I just think about that too. Right now, I'm in college still, so I'm getting it's a specialist degree in K-12 administration.
Cool.
And even going through this, it's just like having a background in English, not just the writing, but the reading and like being able to like read multiple viewpoints, be able to read to like articulate your thoughts. Like I'm just flying through it. Like, everything in college just like once you're good at those things, you can do anything. Like you're unstoppable. You feel like a superhero almost. Like, anything in front of me, I can read it, I can articulate it, I can put my words in my own thoughts. It so that alone, just through the college experience, has just it made it incredible, and it's just been way, way easier. I can't imagine people who don't do it in college, like it. Um, but yeah, I mean, studying humanities has just made me like a more informed human, I guess, right? So like, my job is to teach English, but my job is also to deal with 14-year-old kids, which that has its own challenges, obviously. But being able to just like I can talk to them easier. That's the one thing about humanities that I think is awesome that it's a skill, and English is a skill, reading is a skill, talking is a skill. So being able to talk with my peers, being able to talk with my students, being able to talk with parents, like aside from even teaching English, that has been the best thing. I'm able to articulate tricky subjects to parents. I'm able to, talk professionally with my peers and my bosses, and I can be down to earth and speak to my students. So I think just being able to really master humanities makes you able to just have relationships with everybody. So that's been the coolest thing. Obviously, though, studying humanities makes me a better English teacher because I'm all nerdy about it and I know about it, but, like, being able to communicate with people has been, like that's been the best thing for me.
That's great. That's a ringing endorsement right there. I love to hear
Mhm.
it. Can you think of any classes specifically that helped teach you those things in college?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think about even the Shakespeare class. Well, it wasn't a Shakespeare class. We did a Pace the Stage, and that was, a little out of my comfort zone. I've never been in a play or a musical or, like, even in high school, my we only read Romeo and Juliet. That was it. So I never read any other Shakespeare. And I know that's maybe weird going into an English major, not reading any other Shakespeare, but so that was just it was just uncomfortable for me, and it just I had to put in a lot more effort. Like I had to do a lot of the things like that I'm telling my students, which is to have like a little bit of like, academic resilience, right? Like I'm not going to understand it the first time. So I remember just like reading and rereading and reading and just taking notes and rereading and like just not getting it, but like eventually having that light bulb. And like, again, I was able to practice that skill. Not only was the class really interesting and like Shakespeare was so much cooler than I thought. I mean, like, it was just so much cooler than I thought. I read it like Titus Andronicus, and I was like, whoa, like what? This is the same author
Yeah,
as like Romeo and
some
Juliet, right?
pretty messed up
Um,
stuff in that one, that's for sure.
yeah, that's pretty legit. Whenever my students are like, I don't like Shakespeare, I'm like, read that one. That's pretty, I'll take them for a spin. Um, yeah, that class was just awesome. Like, I just think that having that, like, being able to struggle while reading something and then being able to like just overcome it, like, that's been awesome. So again, that's kind of helped me with like just practicing the skill of reading and practicing the skill of humanities.
Great. So you're getting another degree now for some administrative stuff? Is that sort of the trajectory you hope to go into? Is maybe the principal route or
I'm not sure, I think so. The thing I just wanted to make sure, like, I just didn't want to take a break, so I graduated that semester, like, in my undergrad. I didn't want to take a year off. I jumped right into it, and I finished my master's in April, and I started my specialist as soon as I could in June. Like, I just don't want to take a break, basically. Like, I think down the road, I mean, I'm only 24, so like maybe when I'm 30 or something, like maybe that's when I'll jump into it. But I just want to have the option. They always say like, max out the pay scale. Like that's how teachers work and have something in your back pocket. And I'm just so used to it. It's been a part of my routine for so long being a student. I mean, my whole life basically. I haven't stopped. So um yeah, I wanted to get that. I think that's the one thing I can jump into the most, but I mean, I love what I'm doing though. Like that's the problem. Like it's not the problem, I guess. That's the positive, but I really like what I'm doing because I teach and I coach and as a principal you can't coach and like that's been like the most fulfilling thing for me recently as also been coaching. But I think later down the line I could do it. I always kind of see myself as a leader and someone that takes charge and things. So um
sure.
but yeah, I just want it in
What are
my back
you
pocket kinda.
what are you coaching right now?
So, yeah, the main thing was wrestling. So
Okay.
I'm the girls wrestling coach, the assistant girls wrestling coach, and so that's been awesome and kinda weird and all the things too. I also coach middle school football but mostly wrestling, like, girls wrestling has been kind of like an interesting thing because it's, again,
Yeah.
something else that was, like, way out of my comfort zone, right? Like, I started 3 years ago, that was the first year that girls wrestling was sanctioned, and I didn't
Mm.
really know about it. So it was like foreign to me, and so that's just been a whole learning curve. And now I love it. Now it's like, it's just been so much fun. They're different to coach, but they're a lot more fun to be honest. It kind of broke up some of the monotony that I had. Being a boy wrestler my whole life. It's been a whole new plethora of things. So yeah, we just got done actually with the season. The girls rocked it. It's been pretty cool.
That's awesome. It sounds like you're doing great. That's amazing to hear. Well, my last question I have is do you have any advice for anyone who's thinking about studying something in the humanities?
Yeah, I don't want to sound cliche, but I really think that it can help anybody. The thing I see that again, if it doesn't really matter like what it is, but any job that you have, you need humanities. You just need to. Like you need it. You need to write. You need to be challenged to write. You need to be challenged to read. Like you need to do hard things. And writing and reading is like some of the hardest things you can do, right? So um I encourage everybody, honestly, just take a class, take a creative writing class or take a Shakespeare class or, take something in the humanities because it doesn't matter what it is. You're gonna have to use it eventually, and you might as well do it in college. And the classes you actually end up are like more interesting than you think. I think,
Yeah.
students have this initial um, oh, I don't know, I don't like English, I don't like writing. But once you do it, you mostly like it, right? Like once you kind of turn it into like kind of like your art form, and you kind of like I don't know, play around with it, it gets way more fun, and like you make it low stakes. So I even people who are like, I mean, every education major by the way, should be a humanities major. They just said because you're gonna need to write lesson plans. Like there's a lot of writing and teaching, so you just do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, why not? A lot of times you need to find a minor anyways. So, but anybody who's in business or I seriously, anybody I would encourage just get a minor humanities or English because it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you.
Well, that I couldn't have said it better myself. So, I think that's a great note to end on. Everybody out there, study humanities. So thanks again, Ethan, for your time. It was great to catch up with you.
Yeah, thanks a lot.